Hello, this is Bill Clodsey. Welcome to a Legacy Cube Draft single elimination pod on Magic Online. These are a lot of fun and a good thing to do while the standard draft format is kind of settling down. Let's see what we get here. Ancient Tomb, that's one I haven't done much with yet this time around, but you want to watch out for any of these lands that can just ramp you up too. There's a lot of colorless bombs that are 8 mana or so, and this definitely helps. Yeah, what are the real standouts here? Maybe not Ancient Tomb in this one, but Birds of Paradise is definitely strong. Tomio is pretty cool. Zealous Conscripts, good for a lot of reasons. It can be a part of an infinite combo, and it can steal Planeswalkers right as they're about to ultimate. Yeah, I'm going to go for Birds of Paradise here. This is such a key component of a green ramp deck, and the Birds of Paradise is especially nice because it lets you splash Wall of Blossoms. Now that we took a green card, I'm looking at the green cards, but neither of these are so good that I would just scoop it up here. The rest of the pack, I do like Remove Soul, and green-blue is a nice combination of colors. That's definitely a good one. Chromatic Lantern, similar to Birds of Paradise, will help us just play any cards we get. A little early to go into that. I could also see taking one of these shock lands, but Remove Soul has just been so good, and we don't really have to commit yet to a green ramp deck. We could go into a more of a control deck. Spawn of Mayhem. The mid-range threats are not ones I like building around. Wood Elves, I guess, is good. This can get any forest card into play, so if you have a dual land, Misty, or Tropical Island or something like that, you can get that into play as well. So it is fixing. The land does come in untapped, so that's a good one. I also like Green Sun's Zenith here. So far, it's just a 2-mana Birds of Paradise, but the versatility of casting it early for a mana ramp creature or late for, you know, a big green creature from your deck makes it pretty good. I'm gonna grab that here. Now we have some dual lands we could look at. None of them are green. I just learned that this was in Ravnica Allegiance. I hadn't seen the card in all of my drafts, either playing against it or opening it. But yeah, it's a real card. Oh well. Yavimaya Elder, a bit early for a card like this, but the whole pack seems kind of underwhelming. I could see taking Steam Vents. One thing you can do from green-blue is go into Teamer, red, green, blue, and there's a lot of good Planeswalkers in those colors. So I'll take Steam Vents here. I'm not sure where this will take us, but if you're not sure, then the lands are definitely a good thing to hedge on. Rampant Growth, I like that. That'll find any kind of basic we need. Yeah, green is disappearing big time, so I could also look at taking Baral, Chief of Compliance, and just going into a more of a controlling deck, or even a red-blue spells deck. Yeah, Rampant Growth is fine, but it's not like the most important thing for that deck, so I'll take Baral here. Once again, no clear option. No good spell. Baral is good in, you know, a red-blue control deck. War Boss can win quickly. Thief of Sanity can definitely win quickly as well. Anytime it hits your opponent, you're going to start stealing cards from their deck. That is strong. But it's not a Planeswalker. Like, so many spells in this set can kill it. Garruk is a big expensive payoff. Yeah. Not a huge fan of this pack. Satyr Wayfinder if we're going to reanimate something. Field of Ruin. Yeah, I'm going to take Field of Ruin here. This is kind of a newer edition, and it often will have a good target to destroy, and it kind of gets you the basic land you need, and can get rid of pesky basic lands opponents need. Anyway, or non-basics that they have. Acidic Slime, yeah, Nicol Bolas would be a fun one here. Maybe we could go into some 4-color deck, but a more consistent option would be this Acidic Slime. That's a nice one to get with Green Sun Zenith. Destroys a land, destroys most non-land permanents, not planeswalkers. Yeah, I'll grab that. Woodfall Primus is similar. So it's kind of weird to take a couple of these big green payoffs in a row. Very similar to Acidic Slime, but this one does kill planeswalkers. Without, yeah, taking these two payoffs without having the setup, but maybe, I mean, maybe we'll get there. Crucible can get back cards like Field of Ruin or Wasteland, but there's no big game-winning combo with Crucible. There's just a few cute things you can do with it, so it's not that exciting. Vraska, maybe, Zealous Conscripts. These are options. And yeah, that's a tough one. I guess I'll take Vraska. I do like the character, so definitely one option there. Treasure Map. And Chromatic Lantern. Chromatic Lantern is back, and it looks like that's the kind of card we're going to need to make this mess work. So I'm happy to pick that up here. Imperial Recruiter for someone who is going into a blue-red combo deck. Martial Coup maybe just is good enough to reset the board. If you cast this for enough mana, you destroy all other creatures and you get some creatures yourself. So that's not bad. Yavimaya Elder Wheels, so maybe green is kind of open. Take a Hour of Devastation, although I'm not excited to play it. And another big Planeswalker. Sure, this could just be, well, it could end up being a black-green deck of some kind. Black-green ramp. We don't have to play the blue cards, we don't have to play Martial Coup. Right now it looks like the payoffs and stuff, and the cards we're wheeling mainly are in black-green. So that tells you a lot about what's open, and what's open is so important because the next two packs we can expect to get more of the same. Ooh, Ashiok. That card is so good. And it's something we can cast on turn 2 some of the time off of a Birds of Paradise. We just need like a fetch land or something turn 1. I also really like Entomb. I'm not sure if we can make Reanimator work in 2 packs, but Ashiok is just so powerful here. Sultai Planeswalkers. Avenger of Zendikar would be interesting. It'd be really tempting to take a 1 mana ramp creature, but that's not even an option. Fertile Ground is good. Sakura Tribe Elder is potentially better. And I love these ramp creatures that will get any color for us. Yavimaya Elder can find any basic lands, so we'll just have to put like one of each in our deck if we're going to be in all the colors. Sneak Attack's good. It's especially good with Woodfall Primus. When you sacrifice it, it persists. Force of Will is incredibly powerful, but much less so if you're not heavy blue. Here, I'll take Sakura Tribe Elder. Sneak Attack's great, but it's only one card in your deck, and you need something to do early in these games. Biogenic Ooze, powerful but not amazing. Chord of Calling, if we had a bunch of creatures, it can help find a creature. Now, this doesn't have to get a green one, unlike Green Sun's Zenith. You can just get whatever big monster you have. Plow Under, Spellskite, Exarch, Xenagos. I could see taking Xenagos here. It will ramp you for the colors you have. And it's a Planeswalker. Ramp you for the number of creatures you have, that is. Oh, what else do we have? Tundra, maybe that's a thing. Wickerbow Elder is kind of expensive for what it does. There are better options. Even though it becomes a 4/4, that's not that exciting. Karn is kind of cool. Buried Alive, if we were going in that direction, but yeah, what to take here? Nothing amazing. I'll take Tundra just in case. And in this pack, we have some options. Hedron Archive is nice to ramp up to our big Planeswalkers. If we had more big creatures to ramp up to, Shaman of Forgotten Ways looks better. Pact of Negation is a nice alternative to Force of Will, especially in like a big combo deck, but in a ramp deck, I guess it's not as exciting. So yeah, it's between Hedron Archive and Shaman here, but I'll take Hedron Archive. Card plays better than it looks. Can we find something good? Incubation Druid might be good for us. It only adds mana that your land can already produce, so that's too bad. That's kind of not what we want here. Solemn works really well, you have to ramp up to it, but once you are ramping up, this thing chumps and draws you a card, and it gets you to the next land. So I definitely like Solemn here. Sword of Fire and Ice is also very strong, but I'm going to grab Solemn. It's a lot of value for just a 4 mana spell. Tropical Island, okay. We're going to need that. That's the kind of card that will help us cast our turn 2 Ashiok, which is really tough to deal with. And it's our first real piece of fixing there. We also want black green fixing, but this will have to do for now. Anything good here? Fire and Ice might be an option. Really, there's not much here. Merfolk Looter if we really had to discard, but the thing is this deck's mostly going to be green, and all of the green stuff is going to be able to fix for something powerful late game, but we want to avoid early game things. Primal Command, I could definitely see taking this. It is pretty strong against aggro. You're gaining 7 life and doing something else at the same time. So maybe that is pretty helpful. Maze of Ith, I just love this card. I don't mind replacing one of the spells in my deck with Maze of Ith. You don't really want to take out a land because this is one of the few lands in Magic that doesn't tap for mana. Unless you have something that allows it to. Like Chromatic Lantern. Anyway, what next? It looks like Fertile Ground is our best option here. Just slap this on a forest and then you can add another color. City of Brass is not as exciting. Thran Dynamo is quite powerful, but we already have a couple of good mana ramp cards at the 4-drop slot, so let's grab that. Spellskite and Ancient Grudge. Without the early red, this is not so reliable, but Spellskite can be very good against cards like Splinter Twin or whatever else there might be. Wickerbow Elder for the sideboard. And Shaman is back. Yeah, I'll take that. If we don't get too many more creatures, then I won't even consider it, but wow, Incubation Druid is back. I think we want Gonti here. Gonti is just powerful enough to make it in this deck. Unburial Rites might be similar, since we'll be able to splash white pretty easily. So it's a reanimation from our graveyard, and a pretty easy thing to flash back. Oh wow, this is a pack. And a pretty tough choice. Elves of Deep Shadow would be another way to cast a turn 2 Ashiok. Ugin is incredibly powerful. Verdant Catacombs is important for this deck. And so on and so on and so on. Gosh, I really want Ugin. But it might have to be Elves of Deep Shadow and hope to get another good payoff. We just have so little to do on turn 1, and if we can curve out from Elves into mainly Ashiok, then we're in such good shape. So I'm going to take Elves here. If this was add 1 green mana, I'd probably take Ugin. Doubt the Catacombs or the Ugin could wheel. Maybe Elves could wheel, but it's just so much more important for our deck that not worth taking that chance. When it probably just doesn't wheel. Alright, we're getting all the 1-drops here that cast a turn 2 Ashiok, given the right other color. So if we have Elves, we need to have an island. If we have Noble Hierarch, we need the swamp. Still possible, we have Tropical Island. Maybe we'll pick up a black-green land as well. But yeah, I'll take Noble Hierarch here. And these are probably like the 3 best 1-drops we can have for this deck where we need fixing. Search for Tomorrow is good, but with the Suspend 2, you're really setting up to do something bigger on turn 3, not turn 2. Avacyn's Pilgrim, well, it's kind of like the Elves and stuff, but we don't need white mana. We don't really have a payoff for white yet. So what's another good one? What is another good option? Sower could be okay. Botanical Sanctum. That's another way to get Ashiok. But we still need a good source of black. We might just have to play a couple more swamps than usual. The whole pack's kind of lackluster. The other option is Badlands here. Because we do have Xenagos, I'm not sure if we really need to play Xenagos, but if we did, then we could have the Badlands. And if we find like a red-green fetch, then we could get the black on turn 2. That's probably good enough. All right. Oh, wow. So more good stuff here. I really like Emrakul, but 15 is a tough ask, and we don't have a good way to get it into play besides just ramping. And we can ramp a lot, but it will be tough to get 15 mana. So I'm going to leave that here, I think. Prime Speaker kind of birthing pods our way up. We miss something to do on turn, or for 6 mana and 7 mana. But yeah, I like Cultivate and I like Elvish Mystic. Both of those are good. Let's take Cultivate here. If that resolves, that sets us up to cast our big planeswalkers and whatever. Oh, Kiora! This is one of my favorites. I also like Reclamation Sage. That's a better version of Wickerbow Elder. Well, in this set anyway, where every mana counts, and like this is 5 mana to destroy something, this is 3. Kiora is great. I think if you're doing Sultai, the perfect combination of planeswalkers to have is Ashiok and Kiora. I missed the 5 mana Vraska because that art was so cool, but we'll miss you. You'll be missed, Vraska. Even though this Vraska is better by all measurements, besides the art. Bloodstained Mire, yeah, that would be a good one here, but Kiora is too good. We've spent all of this time making it a priority to find the early fixing. We want these payoffs early as well. Overgrown Tomb, do we have a fetch yet? Let's kind of stack this up. We don't seem to have a good fetch. So it doesn't really matter which one of these we get. Underground Sea is nice because that kind of fixes any alternate color we could have. Yeah, I'll take the Underground Sea. It's also just easier to play without damaging yourself. Taiga, a nice one, but still not much of a reason to play the red. Let's see. Is there anything else in the pack? Maybe Steel Hellkite? If that hits your opponent, then you get to destroy like one set of their permanents. I also like Phantasmal Image here. That's a great one to copy your opponent's creature, or an Acidic Slime, or a Primus, or even Gonti, because the main thing on this is the trigger. Yeah, I'll take the image. Genesis Wave, or even better, Upheaval. Oh yeah, that makes our fixing look a bit better. This card is nuts. I mean, you just add 10 mana, and then Upheaval. All your opponent's stuff goes back. All your stuff goes back. Then you play your land, and then you play your Planeswalker or something, and your opponent just has to start their game over and discard their whole hand. That is Upheaval, and that is my new game plan. Mini Upheaval, Mana War. Damnation. Treetop Village is kind of interesting to protect Planeswalkers, but yeah, I'll take the Mana War here. Sword of Feast and Famine would be very good against us, being the Sultai deck that we are, and it's something we could use for ourselves. But my plan is to resolve these big things, maybe not so much have the swords. Star of Extinction, I don't know, Land Destruction. What else? Izareth, not very good. So we have some wiggle room here of the last cards to play. I wish our fixing was a little better, and that'll kind of constrict us a bit. Like, I want to play as many of the green cards as we can now. We have few enough creatures that I don't really like. Shaman of Forgotten Ways, but maybe maybe it makes it into the deck anyway. It helps cast Gaunty or whatever. An earlier Woodfall Primus. Too bad. The power here could definitely stand to be higher, but the fixing is there. Make this a bit smaller. The fixing is definitely there. I may end up... Okay, so we can also just play Maze of Ith here, and potentially 17 lands, although 16 looks a bit more likely for this version, where we have 3 things to do turn 1. Okay. Spellskite might be another option over Primal Command. And Shaman of Forgotten Ways. I don't really like that. Sword of Feast and Famine. What does this do? Target player discards a card and you untap all of your lands. More of a sideboard card if we're against a green or black deck, because then it's not just, you know, doing the thing when it hits, it's also really hard to block and hard to remove your creature. So being so many colors, we have many sideboard options, which is great. But yeah, I like something more like this. Now, do we want the 17th land or not? And if not, what are we playing? Could be Remove Soul, probably is Spellskite. Spellskite's the kind of card that just makes math tough for your opponent. And yeah, it's fun to play with. Although if they steal your turn, they can they can do an even number of damage to you by just targeting anything. As many times as they want with the Spellskite. It's always a fun way to lose. All right, 15, 4, 4, 1. So no white, but besides that, 15, 4, 4, 1. So that's a good starting point. Maybe we're a little more black heavy, but that barely matters. I don't want to get rid of these basic islands. The thing is, Upheaval is going to be difficult enough to cast as it is, but we can kind of wiggle around here a little bit. Let's put a Steam Vents in. Maybe that can go in for the mountain. Problem is, at least one of our ways to fix only finds basic. So Cultivate, Sakura Tribe Elder, Yavimaya Elder, all of these things find basic land, so they won't get Steam Vents. Badlands, maybe we have so little red that we don't care about that. And we might have little enough black that we don't care about that. Yeah, besides the things that find basics, we also have all of these sources that add any color. Well, I guess it's just those two, isn't it? And Chromatic Lantern. So 5 sources of red for 1 red card. That should be plenty. And then, I'm not even sure if we need Xenagos, really. It might be better to have Mana War and just give up on all these red sources. Even Wickerbow Elder is not useless. Remove Soul would be fun. Could see doing either of these. Let's go for... yeah, who knows? Mana War. Alright, so that's one more blue source. And yeah, now we have a ton of blue. We can take out our Steam Vents and Badlands. We have no fetch that make those better. And focus on our other colors here? 10. Maybe we go 11, and we add one more island. So that's like 10 sources of blue, which is actually crazy. 11 sources of green, which is a lot, but not crazy. And then despite having Gonti at double black, we should have enough ways to get there. Well, I can see taking a blue out for a black, and that gives us plenty of blue, plenty of black, and hopefully plenty of green. 11 sources for a turn 1 play. You know what, let's be a little safer and play one more green. And we also have this extra source of black early, which is Elves of Deep Shadow, so that should actually be fine. Giving up on an early Gonti, we could still get there. Now, how many early sources of black is that? Not too many, so if we want to maximize getting Ashiok down, let's see. We need blue and black. Yeah, best not to think too hard about it. Getting Ashiok down, like maximizing the chance of getting Ashiok down turn 2 would not necessarily maximize the chance of having a playable hand, if that makes sense. So here we are. We have our big planeswalkers and upheaval. We have our big creature, and Green Sun Zenith will likely be a turn 2 play just to get some other creature out. Then we have Mazavith, which I kind of consider like a 1-drop. Even though you're not casting it on turn 1, it doesn't require mana to cast. So there we are. Sultai something, Sultai ramp, I guess, into planeswalkers to seal the deal. Round 1. Definitely we'll take the play here. Oh no, they've got everything faded while we're making our choice. They've implemented the new mulligan rule, I assume. Ah, it's too bad. I wish we could see the cards, but you can zoom in on them, I guess. Do we want to keep this? I think we mulligan this. We have a lot of land, but not much to do with it. This, at least, we have some kind of plan. So, the new mulligan rule. So I'll keep this and then put a card on the bottom of your library. Yeah, that'll be this forest. And then let's go to town. So the rule is now that you'll always draw 7, but the number of times you mulligan is the number of cards you have to put on the bottom. No more scrying. Oh well. Doesn't make much of a difference, I think. It makes mulliganing less bad, and it's more decisions per mulligan, not just whether to keep and whether or not to scry to the top. Okay. Tribe Elder, don't daze it please, and if they didn't daze it, we are good to go. Now I'll get black so we can get we can get Ashiok into play. Come on, Ashiok on the top. Oh well. Wishful thinking. Mana War is funny because it has to bounce something, so if you play it onto an empty field, it'll just bounce itself. They don't write cards like that anymore. And Birds of Paradise. And that is a grand total of 0 power and 5 toughness on turn 4. Turn 3, even. Okay, they have nothing, and we have nothing. There is a whole lot of nothing. Technically it'd be okay to like get our Mana War in play, but the game is not going to end with them taking that much damage from Mana War. What do we want? Oh gosh. Fractured Identity is a solid card. I don't like when they put cards in cube that I didn't see in a standard set, because then I'm like, where did this come from? And I just have no idea where it came from. It might have come from a Planeswalker deck or something, or a Commander product. So they put Fractured Identity into their hand. Seems like a good one. Oh, that's solid. Let's get cultivate here. If that doesn't get countered, we're in great shape. Put the island into play. Play a forest. And they might be able to Fractured Identity Spellskite, which would be annoying. But next turn we get down Woodfall Primus, and we can always redirect Fractured Identity to the Spellskite, so they won't be able to exile and get a Woodfall Primus. Thank goodness. We have to watch out for spells that we can redirect to this. Some you just can't, like if it says destroy target non-artifact creature, you can try to redirect it. You can target anything with this, but it will only redirect it if it's a legal target. Alright, Shelldock Isle, and they're really close to the 20 cards where they can cast something for free. Mind Stone. Cool. I think what we might do here is destroy Shelldock Isle of all the crazy things. And there's our Ashiok. Good deal. Well, Woodfall Primus is probably the best thing to do here. Woodfall Primus while they're tapped out. Don't counter it. We have the Remove Soul. Remand. Yeah. Oh well, Jace is gonna live. I guess it didn't matter there. Ashiok, we could have cast Ashiok twice. Wasn't thinking about Remand specifically. Now they know what's coming. So we'll have to be careful with how much mana they hold up here. Reveal the top three. You can have Jace or nothing. One thing they might do here is bounce Spellskite with Jace, or try to bounce our Birds of Paradise. Okay, there's a Jace. Maybe they'll just brainstorm, draw 3 cards, yeah. That's the one I want to kill with Woodfall Primus at this point. And they don't have the extra blue up this turn, so unless they play an island, they're not going to do their free card just yet. Either way, that's going to be scary. Yeah, we should probably kill Jace the Mind Sculptor with the Primus. Oust here, yep. And please don't Force Spike or Daze. That protects us a little bit. Come on, Woodfall Primus, you can do it. Oh no, I messed up. I messed up big time because now they can Fractured Identity the Primus. It's not as bad as it sounds because them getting a token of Woodfall Primus kills our Swamp, but then we can just bounce their Woodfall Primus. Yeah, it's not that bad, and it does take up their whole turn. And then maybe Ashiok can do some business. But this turn, they do get their hidden card off Shelldock Isle. Assuming this is what they do, they probably go ahead and Fractured Identity here. Oh wow, they're using the mana from Shelldock Isle, so maybe they need white. Yeah, they'll just kill the Swamp, which is fine. I can add black with Birds. Okay. Well, let's do this first actually. Ashiok. Does it resolve? Yes. The only thing we can really do is start attacking their library, and we get just a couple lands. Next, Mana War. Bounce that Primus. I wish it would come back to my hand. That'd be nice. But it's safely exiled, and then we have Spellskite. And who wins this fight? It's kind of rough, but they can hit Ashiok here with the Celestial Colonnade. Won't kill it this turn, and potentially we can chump it next turn with our birds to keep the exiling going. Best case is we draw something to do, so Ashiok isn't our only win condition. Maybe they just don't have a good thing to do with the Sheldock Isle. They found 4 lands or something. Gideon is rough. They could have actually killed Ashiok here by making a Gideon emblem. And it might end up being bad for them that they didn't do that. Who knows, though? We're not really getting much. We're not really getting much out of this. But I suppose we can... Did they plus Jace there? Yeah, it doesn't make sense to attack with Mana War. No creatures off Ashiok here, so yeah, they don't have a clear kill, a clean kill, or whatever you call it, on Ashiok here. Lyra Dawnbringer, great. But if we draw a black card, we won't be able to play it. And that is concerning because Vraska and Garruk are 2 cards in our deck that I would like to be able to play. We have a lot of ineffective cards in our deck. They put 2 lands in their hand instead of the Angel, so Angel goes on the bottom of their deck. A bit surprising. They haven't played one of the lands yet, so don't know what they're up to now. Celestial Colonnade, probably. Day of Judgment. Yep. Do they have enough left over? Yeah, I guess they have enough left over if they play a land to attack with the Colonnade, or they just attack with Gideon here. So it's going to be a rough one. Are they okay, they're finally playing an island. They should probably Tectonic Edge my tropical island, but I guess it doesn't matter too much. Yeah, I wish we had something to get, but it's just something to thin our deck a bit. They've got so much, it doesn't matter how tall we make this. I need to get rid of these side things while it's not important. And Ashiok's gone, so that doesn't matter. Mindstone, draw a card. Maybe we'll mill them. Doubt that'll be the case. They can get back Mindstone, attacking with Sun Titan. So we're trying to play Sultai Planeswalkers. They're playing Azorius Planeswalkers, which is pretty good. Oh no! Check that X. I think they put it on top of our deck, so they know what we're going to draw this turn. And we are not doing so hot. Maybe we can survive here. Let's see, if we block Sun Titan, we take 11. And they're still drawing cards. Thin the deck. Banishing Light. Yeah, that'll... let's see if they get it. So they have to plus this thing. And that's, yeah, definitely enough. Two cards left. I mean, drawing your whole deck is usually a good way to win. Wickerbow Elder might be good. I think we just want to play the same idea here. Sword doesn't help us. Will we take the play? Yes. And get this thing going. Keep it. I swear they make these changes and they purposely make them annoying. No reason to make the whole hand impossible to see while it's the most important time to be able to see all of the cards in your hand. But that's what they did. That's what they decided to do. We can get all of our 1-drops into play using Green Sun Zenith. Otherwise, we can... Yeah, maybe we do that and we play Fertile Ground. So how does that work? We go Fertile Ground here. Tap this for whatever, green, green. Green Sun Zenith for... Well, hold on. We might want Green Sun Zenith for more ramp later. So I could just play Elves of Deep Shadow. It's 5 mana next turn. Yeah, it's pretty even this turn, so I'm just going to do this. And if we draw the land... If we draw the land, we can kill their land with Green Sun Zenith, and that might be worth it if they don't counter it, let's say. Primal Command, that's pretty good here too. Put a non-creature permanent on top of its owner's library, and then search for a creature card. I really do like that here. So let's add some green. Let's add some other colors, and that's what we want. So give them back Shelldock Isle, so they lose the card they've tucked away, and we get a pretty good one here, which is going to be Acidic Slime. We could just cast it next turn, and then keep killing all their lands. So they'll replay Shelldock Isle, and they have no blue up. So it's looking good. They might be taking a card that they that they want to be killed. Anyway, because they know Acidic Slime is coming. Let's kill that Shelldock Isle. That's also their blue source, and attack for 2 here. Exalted Elves attack. Our hand is looking good. This board is looking great. They're turn 4. They only have 2 mana despite ramping. 6 mana here. And they just have nothing to do. That's rough. Tell you what I'm going to do. Cast a Vraska. They might give up here. But the thing is, I'm going to target Mind Stone with Vraska, so they have to draw a card with it. That might look a bit weird. Oh wow, they let us do it. They could have just sacrificed it, but the reason to do that there, even though they can sacrifice it, is just take them off that extra mana. 6 mana, destroy target Mind Stone, target opponent draws a card. Anyway, great, we're still alive. Back on the draw, unfortunately. And you could see the case for Wickerbow Elder. It's pretty much just a Mind Stone, isn't it? It's just a Mind Stone after all. And that's not amazing. Kitesail Freebooter, on the other hand, has some upside here. Because there's not too much they can use to deal with it, and they don't really want to deal with it. But their whole deck is full of neat targets for it. And Mana War is okay. Mana War is not that good here. It's okay, but it's really just not that good. So I'm going to put in Kitesail Freebooter. I mean, it was great game 1 when it bounced to 6/6. But, oh no. This is tough. This is a really tough one. I'm going to keep it. It is still a possible turn 2 Ashiok, believe it or not, but very unlikely. We have to draw Birds of Paradise or equivalent, and then the mana source we need. Could happen. Maze of Ith, interesting. But even if we don't get our early Ashiok, what we have is Spellskite into Chromatic Lantern, maybe, and now we're way behind. Alright, well here's Spellskite for what it's worth. Maze of Ith, that's too bad because Maze of Ith doesn't progress things. Muldrifter, draw 2 cards, nothing we can interact with Spellskite. Okay, land. Land is great news here. Still doesn't do much for us, but now we can just go off next turn. Hopefully Freebooter into Ashiok, and Maze of Ith actually will tap for land if they don't kill Chromatic Lantern. Alright, now they're going to mini Factor Fiction. Put target creature into its owner's library second from the top. Do we care about that? I don't know. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. I'm going to give them these piles. They probably take the lands, if I'm guessing. They play Sheldock Isle. Yeah, pretty good. They took 2 cards, so closer to milling them with our Ashiok. Oh, I hope Upheaval can be a thing. Here we go. Maze of Ith, Kitesail Freebooter, Ashiok, black, green, Kitesail. Give me those cards. What do we have? Reveal, then we take a card. Could be Fumigate, could be Sphinx's Revelation. And then they have Lyra and Blade Splicer. What does Fumigate do? Destroys all our creatures. Well, that's annoying. I think we have to take Fumigate so they don't have an easy way of getting it back, especially on this board where we have all the creatures. Then black, blue, colorless for Ashiok. Coast is clear, as we've seen. And we can start milling them. That gives them an earlier Sheldock Isle, but hopefully we can survive. Try to keep track of what they play here. Whoops. Alright, they're plussing Jace to keep it at a nice high loyalty. Then what? Blade Splicer, Lyra. Oh, they can't play... Yeah, they could play Lyra if they play their planes. Control magic on Spellskite. That's pretty cool. They drew this one off the top, I guess. That's really cool. Okay, and now they can play this thing and steal our Ashiok. No, Banishing Light. Oh, what a nightmare. Don't take Lantern. Okay, they took Ashiok. And what we can do is Upheaval and get our Ashiok back into play. That's an expensive turn, but it might be good enough here. That might be good enough. Play this. Oh no. Okay, well, here goes nothing. Attack them. Oh, that doesn't do much. Oh well. And then, should we do it? Or should we wait? What do they have? Lyra, Blade Splicer, Sphinx's Revelation. Maybe we'll wait until next turn. I think that's a better option here. I think that's better. It gives them the chance to draw counter magic, but yeah, I think that's better. Because then we'll be able to not only get Ashiok back, but play our land and have, well, 1 mana left over. Okay, plussing Jace again, that's a great sign. And it's Lyra time. After playing a Plains, we'll go ahead and crack Yavimaya Elder to make sure we hit our land drop here. Well, we're going to hit our land drop anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But those two, then draw card, more land that we're inevitably going to discard here. Let's do this. Upheaval. Good luck. So they get their Fumigate back, but it's going to be slow going for them to ramp. It's slow going for us to ramp too, to be perfectly fair here. I don't know what they could respond with. Yeah, so now we plus Ashiok. Starting the game again with Ashiok seems pretty powerful. And then it's just going to be discarding a lot of cards. So what do we want to discard? Well, probably most of these forests, if not all of them. We have the Chromatic Lantern, we have more forests in our deck, and this can help us naturally cast things. We also want a play next turn, which will likely be the Freebooter or the Spellskite, and then eventually we'll get up to Garruk, but Woodfall Primus will take longer. So that's our 7. This is our champion 7. Shelduck Isle comes out. That's something they can do as early as next turn, and that means we should play the Spellskite in case they find a Fractured Identity for Ashiok, and they have to discard half their stuff. We had to discard 5 cards, and they have to discard a ton. Get rid of them. Goodbye Lyra, goodbye Sphinx's Revelation, Fumigate, Blade Splicer. They're just going to keep all the cheap things they can do, which is pretty much what we did. Day of Judgment is gone. Ashiok's never going to find something good, but even if your opponent doesn't have creatures, it's still a good one. Oh, shoot. Oh, good thing I played the land. I want Spellskite for sure. Clicked on the Freebooter. Whoops. Anyway, we have no idea what they have. They must have lands, so there's one thing. What do we reveal? Just lands from our old Yavimaya Elder. Shelduck Isle, what is it? Probably some big planeswalker? It is a Jace. Jace the Mind Sculptor. Jace versus Ashiok. They don't really want to use any of this. The best thing might be to return Spellskite. Look at the top card. They're going to Fate Seal us. You could look at the top card of Spellskite's library if you wanted, which I guess is just my library. And they're keeping it on top, so that doesn't really matter much. And I'm going to keep exiling. They don't want to brainstorm because that just means they'll mill themselves sooner. And still no creatures. Pact of Negation, I guess that's a good one to get. Oust is gone. Now what? Now we do Freebooter to see what they have going on. Non-creature, non-land. And then we can protect it with Spellskite. All right, somehow we pulled this around. And you see why I love Ashiok so much. And Upheaval, for that matter. Round 2, with an incredibly awkward hand. Maybe we'll try out this new mulligan rule. Yeah, with green I'd be tempted, but the other thing is the more powerful the format, the better mulligan is. Because you're just so far behind if your opponent gets a quick start. And you don't need many powerful cards to destroy your opponent. Here it's much better. It is an early, well, what is it? It's an early-ish acidic slime. It's a turn 2 Ashiok. And then maybe we can copy the slime. So I'm going to put a forest on the bottom here. We get 2 draws. Okay, we draw forest anyway. Oh shoot, it's a turn 3 acidic slime. Oh no, this is the person who took all our ramp, is it? Well, we'll show them. We'll show them how to ramp, although they get up to like 6 mana this turn, so Primeval Titan or something coming down. Yeah, what can we do? Well, oh, we could have copied Raphelos, but that might not actually be that good this turn. Especially if they kill it. I mean, this way we guarantee Acidic Slime into Image. It's 6 mana, it's Garruk. It's Garruk, make a beast. Acidic Slime kills a forest, if nothing else. Or we have Kiora, so we have a couple options here. Kiora kind of gets that beast out of our hair for a turn. They get to draw 3. And then we can Acidic Slime next turn. And keep plussing Kiora. That might work out well. And we don't have a great target for Acidic Slime now. I mean, keeping them off of a forest might prevent them doing something nuts next turn. Yeah, maybe I should just do that. Yeah, the forest is actually more scary than I'm giving it credit for. The other thing is we can just block the beast with the slime. So I wonder, they'll probably cash in 3 loyalty on Garruk for 3 cards. So they draw 3 cards there, which is nuts. I mean, this has already gotten them a 3/3 beast, 3 cards, and they still have 1,000,000 mana. But taking them off the forest was huge here, because they didn't have another land right away. So they had to tap Raphelos first. All right. All right. All right, fine. So we can copy something. Probably copy Acidic Slime. But if we copy Raphelos, things get more interesting. Heck, we could even copy Nissa here and then play Kiora second. What to do? Can't do it all. Can only do some of it. I'd love to ramp here, but that's not an option. The other thing we could do is risk it on Kiora and try to get land on top. What to do, what to do? Well, folks, I think it's a tough call. All right, this is really tough. I'm gonna get kind of risky here, I think, and copy Raphelos. Because next turn, like, Garruk just makes a beast. That's no problem. Hopefully they can't target the image. But next turn, it's even possible that we get down both of these. If Raphelos is able to add 4 mana, let's say. 8, 9, well, whatever. If Raphelos can add 4 mana, then we get there. So if we sacrifice Sakura Tribelder for a forest and draw a forest, we can play both of these. Make a beast, that's fine. They still have 6 mana here, hopefully no more. 6 is a lot. Green Warden to get back a forest, well, that's pretty convenient. It's not completely broken, but it's okay, I guess. All right, beast, come on. Is that really necessary? Well, tell you what, let's go ahead and do this. The acidic slime might be a better blocker later for the green warden. And I do want this forest and time to draw forest. Oh, only Gonti. Well, we can still do Kiora and Gonti. No, it'd be great to use Kiora minus and then draw the forest we need to cast Garruk. And if we miss, we can still cast Gonti. Pretty sure that's how that works. Pretty sure. Right, because plussing Kiora doesn't actually do that much here. So Kiora. Next turn they're going to have so much mana. Draw a card. Is it a forest? It is not. And we can Green Sun Zenith for something. There's not much for cheap that we can get, but maybe next turn it can kill Garruk. Anyway. Gonti instead. And I guess they kill Kiora here, but, well, now we have a Johnny, so there you go. No attacks. This forces them to maybe attack into Acidic Slime with Green Warden while their graveyard is empty. And that's wonderful. I just hope they can't do Ulamog or something this turn. 9 mana. Mirari's Wake. Okay, 8 more mana. And all of their creatures are massive. Yep. This is rough. Birthing Pod? Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Now they get a 7-drop by sacrificing Green Warden. Maybe make a bunch of plants. Okay. What good 7-drop? Hornet Queen is a good one. Dragon Lord Atarka. Now that is annoying. So what are they going to kill? Raphellos, Acidic Slime, Elves, and Kiora. They can kill all of that here. Yep. Wonderful. And now we're back to practically 0 mana. They got a bit of a head start on us here, and we are paying for it. We are paying dearly. I'm going to concede this because we're dead to Dragon Lord Atarka. And they have a few good targets for the Wicker Bow Elder. So maybe we bring that in and take out something. Spellskite. Redirecting, I don't know. There's not too much to redirect. I guess we could redirect Dragon Lord Atarka if it comes to it. Star of Extinction looks pretty good. And Sword of Feast and Famine looks especially nice. I don't love Primal Command in this matchup. It's slow for that much mana. Image is good, Mana War is good. Everything else is got its place, but let's go with this setup. Definitely want the play. And we can keep this faded hand. Oh, keep quick, so we don't have to look at it like that anymore. Oh, we have to wait for them to resolve their mulligans. Let's do this. Turn 1, well, it's not going to be a turn 2 Ashiok, I'm sorry. Turn 3, maybe. I could have kept Remove Soul in here. I don't know what I would have cut for it. Hopefully they don't kill our Underground Sea, because that's important. It begins. Wall of Omens. That's kind of a funny one to see. Not one we want to bounce here. But cultivate gives us the best and most options here. It makes sure we get our land drop this next turn. We can, I guess we just find a bunch of green here. Keep things simple. Still not doing much. Maybe next turn we go Hedron Archive into Mana War on Mentor. That looks solid, doesn't it? Or we could do Sakura Tribe Elder. But either way, we're going to have a big turn next turn. So maybe the better one here is Sakura Tribe Elder. No, because that's one we can do after Upheaval. So let's just keep them back. Bounce that Mentor. No extra cards for them. I didn't realize they were such a white deck. Mirari's Wake, I guess it makes sense, but they have so many white sources here, it's ridiculous. No, please, don't kill our Hedron Archive. Oh, we had such an easy win, but not anymore. Not so anymore. That's okay. That's okay. We should get by here just fine with Solemn into Sakura Tribe Elder into Upheaval. Yeah, use the ability. Get blue. Don't even want to use Sakura Tribe Elder, to be honest. Yeah, probably still will. It requires some counting, because that's one I might want to do after Upheaval. 6, Mirari's Wake. Okay. So I think I'll just keep Sakura Tribe Elder in play. I'll keep it in play. We go Upheaval. Then we go tap, the next one, play a land, play Sakura Tribe Elder, and ramp us up to 3 mana on the next turn. So we'll just pass here. Oh, I guess I could have gotten Ashiok down if I wasn't greedy here. But we can just play a turn 2 Ashiok. That's how this works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Upheaval. Everybody gets their stuff back. They might concede to this. I mean, this play is absurd. This play is pretty absurd. So, it doesn't matter what land we play here, but I'm going to be cute and play Underground Sea, and then we can fetch for a swamp or something. Elder, and pass. Discarding a bunch of forests. They might concede to the turn 2 Ashiok. Technically not turn 2. Oh, they have to discard here anyway, but that's in our end step. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab... I'll just grab a forest, whatever. As long as we play an island, we should be fine. And they have to discard half their deck because they were up at 13 cards. Goodbye, Atarka. I love the post-upheaval game. Now we can play island or tropical island. Let's get tropical. That's an Ashiok. Turn 7 Ashiok. Is it good enough? No, they don't even want us to see the top of their deck. So yeah, that's too much. It's too fast. Great. Remove Soul is the other one I was considering. That is a nice piece of interaction early. It really is. And they have some nice creatures. We'll be on the draw. Maybe we can cut out Yavimaya Elder. That's a bit too slow. That's a bit too slow on the draw, I think. I mean, it's 5 mana to really get going. Strong effect, but the rest of our deck is strong. And we have enough targets that I don't want to take out one target for their enchantment removal, or artifact removal, whatever it is. Game 3, always down to the wire here. This hand is terrible. Yeah, we can't, I mean, it could be a turn 3 Ashiok, well, not even. Let's mulligan. Oh, so if you mulligan, you also get to see your hand. Yeah, how about this? So this is a turn 2 Sakura Tribe Elder, holding up Remove Soul, and maybe we can just put Vraska on the bottom to make sure we can get an early slime. So yeah, I'll keep it. That's rough. But yeah. Vraska's just too late, I think. Assuming we draw 2 lands in a row or something. The other thing is we can kind of churn up our deck with Sakura Tribe Elder, which is going to be good. Noble Hierarch and Remove Soul holding up on next turn is pretty good. So I think we want to go Sakura Tribe Elder here. Yeah, I mean, some of the scariest things they can do are Raphelos and big creatures. Raphelos is not as scary. And what is this? Birthing Pod. We couldn't have countered that anyway, so this is looking okay. Now what do we want? I actually kind of want to get the island here, because if we draw Ashiok, we can cast it. Now then. Oh, what do we do here? We can put Fertile Ground on an island and play Noble Hierarch and then hold up Remove Soul. They might just use Birthing Pod, but it's pretty cheap for them to do it. They have to pay a colorless and 2 life to get a 3-drop into play. That can kill Fertile Ground, and there's not much we can do about it. I assume that's what they'll get, but who knows? Who really knows, after all? Then we have to make a tough decision. Do we Acidic Slime? It's Wood Elves. All right. Do we Acidic Slime the Birthing Pod, or do we Acidic Slime one of their land sources? Or exile a permanent. So now they do the island. Just get rid of it. Don't even have to worry about it. Okay, maybe we get rid of that Birthing Pod, huh? Sounds about right. I'd love to get rid of Savannah, but it doesn't really seem like Savannah's the problem here. And Birthing Pod is just so ridiculous. So yeah, play Underground Sea and add a bunch of green. Play this, kill Birthing Pod. I mean, I assume their deck's built around it, so no more of that nonsense. And now they have nothing to do. Good deal. Birds of Paradise. Well, that's not very good either. Oh well. Attack for 3. They can start attacking for 3 back, but that's not that impressive. Or they can hold it up to block, also not super impressive. The other thing is we have to realize this thing has reach, so we can't just attack with a 1/2 Exalted Birds of Paradise. Oh no, Mirari's Wake, that's a big piece of ramp. Draw our clone. I'd love to draw the clone here. Oh no, well, play the land. Swing 3, and that's kind of the last thing we can do. They're going to have 12, 14 mana this turn if they really want it. If they can use it. Maybe they just can't use it though. I'll take 2. I'd love something to do here. We only have 16 lands. We haven't been super lucky with it. I'd kill for a Vraska. 14 mana, and this is going to be a big convoke spell, or I don't know what. Some kind of big monster spell. Is it a 13 drop? Is it like Emrakul or something? Oh, it might be Emrakul to steal my turn. That's not actually that good. Oh, Court of Calling for 7. Converted mana cost X or less. Oh, what's this going to be? What is their big 7 drop? Green Warden to get back Birthing Pod? And then they can sacrifice Green Warden to get back something else this turn. Mirari's Wake is so broken. Oh, if only we'd waited a turn. Extra mana, sacrifice Green Warden, get back Flicker Wisp? Or, yeah, get back Court of Calling and get an 8-drop into play. Dragonlord Atarka kills all of our creatures. And then what? I guess we're on Upheaval. Upheaval is our best bet, because then we can get a Fertile Ground into play. Well, this is not nothing. Tell you what. Let's go Hedron Archive and then sacrifice it using the 2 forests. Could be an Ashiok. Come on, Ashiok. Okay, Phantasmal Image. That's that's interesting, I guess. It can copy Dragonlord Atarka. If only this could do damage to players. I don't see a way for them to target our thing. What did they get back? They got another Convoke back. This means it's pretty difficult for them to go off here. Yeah, let's go ahead and copy the Dragonlord Atarka. It gives us a nice creature, smaller than theirs, but we get to kill Wood Elves. And why not do a couple damage to the Atarka? Get him. So hopefully the thing they can convoke out here doesn't target our Dragonlord. Please. That's right. Sacrifice your Dragonlord. They can actually attack this turn and survive next turn and kill us the turn after. So we are dead on board. They'll probably do something better than that even. Court of Calling for 3. What's this gonna get? Maybe it'll get a life gain creature. Eternal Witness to get back Flicker Wisp. Oh no! And Flicker Wisp is going to target our Dragonlord just to kill it. Wow. Their deck is sweet. I tried to kill Birthing Pod, I really did. I tried my hardest. But it is out again. This Mirari's Wake is just too much mana. I definitely would have played it in this deck. Well, I could have with all the fixing. It would have been a good reason. We just don't have that much that uses infinite mana. Like Court of Calling takes good advantage of all of this. Oh wow. Does Mana War do anything here? Not really, unfortunately. Just all of their creatures are lethal, so bouncing something like Hero doesn't do it. Bouncing Atarka doesn't do it. Well, they don't have red, so maybe that's one thought. But then they get a flyer attacking with 5 power because of the hero. So, well, let's go ahead and do it. Let's just do it anyway. Would Upheaval have done it this turn? Even that, well, Upheaval might have been good here. Because we're going to get, I don't know, our Solemn into play before they get their Mirari's Wake out again. They're at 5 life. I guess that could be okay. But yeah, it's just so many lethal creatures. Birthing Pod deck. You don't always get to build a Birthing Pod deck because by the time you see it, your creature curve might be kind of set and you won't have all the creatures to sort of continue the chain. But they got it. Anyway, thanks for watching and good luck in your drafts.